Putting together any survival kit, you're going to try to think of everything but the kitchen sink to make your survival kit possible. And uh, cool doodads, stuff that's small, compact. You can put it in a bag and carry it around with you, or your glove box. Most of you have seen the glove box survival kit that I put together some years ago, and I've been making so many that I've lost track. And I put together one of these, uh, I don't know, a couple of years ago or something, and people were excited. It had the smaller EDC tins that were used, and what I did was I used the printer, and it's a color printer, and I printed out the actual. This is water, this one's fire, and this one's fishing, and so on and so forth. I think I had one that's like medical or something. Doing something different today. I've got a few items here I wanted to share. I'm not doing the magnets for this one. This is just a regular Altoids tin. It just doesn't have the Altoid stamp on it, and you can get these online. You can just order them. Same with these, the micro ones, the smaller ones. You can order these as well. I'll have a link below if you want to get some. The now tin, it doesn't matter if you go with an Altoid or, and these are great for making char cloth. They already have the vents in the back, so you don't have to poke holes in them to do char cloth. You can put any piece of denim, cotton, whatever in it, and just close it up and set it on top of your fire, and it'll make you some nice char cloth. And in the future, when you start making more fires, you can just use the char cloth to make the fire. It's much easier to strike with just a couple pieces of chert and give it a whack, and you'll be lit up again. All right. I'm talking too much about that. Some people like it when I talk. Some people hate it. All right. This come off one of those Leatherman signals. Now, I had two of these, and I ended up with an extra one, and my signal and still has the original. They make these in different colors, like lime green and stuff. Well, I had this one laying around. It has a whistle, and it also has the ferro rod. I thought it'd be perfect for this little kit because there's still plenty of room in there, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that with this kit right here. It fits all 6 of these perfect, and I'll show you in a minute what you can stuff in these things. Goes just like that. Then, like I said, you've got this extra room over here. You just slap that guy in there. And another cool thing is I found that these, this is your multi-purpose pocket tool, pocket survival tool. Tells you all the different uses for this thing. It helps you get direction, helps you saw, cut. You can do a little stabbing, whatever. But it helps you make tools with it. You can use it for tools. Or if you find a restaurant while you're out surviving, you can open bottles with it. I like to add that. But this will fit right in there, and just like that, and it's closed up. So I just want to share that real quick before I get going. Now, for some of you, for EDC tins, now this was given to me. Christy sent this in, and I haven't shared this with anyone yet. Just to be, if you want to get ridiculous with your kit and you want it to be disguised as something else, you could find some standard random tins at any little hobby shop somewhere that's got all kinds of weird stuff in it. Sesame Street, this is the ones that kids keep eyeballing. They want to jack from me. It's still in my, I have this storage bin thing. It's got a bunch of dividers, and you just slide them out. When I start building kits, then I can just grab, oh, I'm going to do this one today. But I leave a lot of stuff in my little drawer system that I've got going on. But one of these days I'll share that with you. But this was sent in by her as well. And I figured one of these days I could do some kids' kits or something like that. It'd be kind of fun to do. But I wanted to share that. Now, back in the day, I have done this thing here where you just go to, you can go to your Harbor Freight or something like that and get yourself one of these things at a couple of bucks or something. And then you put together a freaking, you just think of every single thing imaginable. And that's what I did when I did this, was I tried to think of every single thing from fire starting to sawing, cutting, and making a shelter. Use stuff for a bow drill, or reflecting light, and a lighter in there. And I mean, it goes on. I've even got disinfectant spray stuff, medical stuff, compasses, and all kinds of little tools and knickknacks are in here. I even got your old school 9 volt, and you got your steel wool and 9 volt. How you can light that up, and still another thing that people don't know is they think they need a 9 volt to ignite steel wool. I did a little video on that, and you actually can just use a ferro rod. Any flame will actually set off anything hot. I've seen just something just gradually hot set off steel wool before. But everything for water filtration and you name it. And if you're doing something like that, also finding your way back. And I mean, dude, there's so much stuff in this thing. It's crazy. I even guitar picks, did a video about that. Guitar picks are extremely flammable. Anyway, but you want to MacGyver it? I mean, I literally in my brain I have a little Rolodex of just freaking MacGyver stuff, just nothing but MacGyver stuff. I don't have to carry a little survival kit with me when I do that. But you want to come up with stuff that's compact and does what you need it to. Like this Spartan Fire. This stuff is super thin and it works for so many different things. Like that is this. Here we go. I got a small one right here. This stuff is super flammable, but it's compact and you can fold it up. And I've already got one folded here. I was already fiddling with it. What's cool is people always, they don't know how to use it correctly. You're actually just supposed to sliver off a few little pieces of it and put it in a little ball and then light it. That's how you're actually supposed to use it. Most people will just take this whole thing and just light it up on fire. That's not how you're supposed to do it. But in a kit like this, you slide this guy open here. Let me do it the right way, not the wrong way, right? Take this guy off and just try to come up with ways to build your fire kit. Just focus on one thing and just make sure you got plenty of room there. Now I didn't pre-fold this one. This one was folded for something else. I'm not sure what. But just see, I already did it wrong. It's all right if you've got that little extra piece there. You can even cut that off. You don't have to leave it on there, but I'll probably just leave it on there. But I've done these before. See, look, now I've got the bottom. The bottom's done. That's that. This stuff is insane. This is your magnesium. I went ahead and brought, this is your fire assist magnesium capsules. All it is magnesium. It's this. This is magnesium. Now, this stuff is like 6,000 degrees Celsius or something. I think I might be saying it right. I'm not sure. Anyways, but it's like, it'll, I mean, if you lit up a batch, it just burns straight through a freaking board. This one right here would burn all the way through this table. You got to be very careful with lighting this stuff up. But it's like a powder. But you don't want to mistake this as something else. But anyways, you would just set those in there like that. Just put like 3 of them, just to be on the safe side. Make sure you've got plenty for fire. Strike anywhere matches will do the trick. You can use this, and strike anywhere matches will have the white tip on them. People tell me all the time, like, I use this stuff to reload my 22. When I reload 22 ammunition, I have to use these to make, I've got a video on that too. It's kind of long and drawn out. But anyway, but these little white tips at the end here is what makes, that's how you make primers. You can use that same compound to make primers. And any primer, for any gun, it doesn't matter what it is. But that's what is actually in that. And most folks don't know that, but that's actually what's inside of them. But it's the compound that's already mixed, and you can just reestablish that compound anywhere else. That's why the government got rid of so many of these. You can't find them anywhere. Anyways, there's your conspiracy. All right, so I've got some right here. This is the old school ones back in the day, when they had the green matches. But now when you go to the store, you don't find these. But something like this. You get these guys here. And what you're going to do, you're going to want to cut these. Now, I want to get all this crap away from me before I start chopping on stuff. But this is one of the fire assist right here. These are, you can find these online pretty much anywhere. The survival, whatever outlet stuff. But these go with your survival kits, and usually in survival kits you just put in magnesium caps and then you'll pull these up pretty much. Anyways, but a bunch of different people selling. That's why I brought 2 different packages, because it's just to show you that multiple people do that stuff. All right, so now you want to cut these down so they'll fit in here. So they strike anywhere, so you can just use them for this. And I'm not going to be needing this. That does away with that, and I can make a crazy fire kit that's just simple, and it's in an emergency. That way I don't have to worry about the ferro rod or any of that. You can already have some matches just as a backup. You could put a bunch of other stuff in there too. Some cotton. A lot of people like, cotton balls. Everyone tells me dryer lint. I did a video on dryer lint just to kind of debunk that before, because not all dryer lint will work. And people will go try and dig that stuff out of their dryer. It's very toxic and it's nasty, and it will work, but it doesn't always work. And some people have difficulties with doing that. But if you have more cotton in your home than the normal person, then most of the stuff is synthetic, so you might not get the same results as everybody else. But you would just clip these up, and I gotta grab my scissors, and you're gonna want to cut these up to fit. So you just sort of measure out about how much you're going to need there, and just fit them in there just like that. And then you'll fill up the rest of those just like that. You don't want these super long sticks. You don't need, it's just a bunch of wasted space. There's plenty of sticks in the woods, so you don't need all that. You just need something you can drop in with your magnesium, because you're not going to use the whole capsule. You're going to open the capsule, just give it a twist, open it, dump a little bit out, and then close it back up. You got to conserve your materials. That also goes for the Spartan fire. You're not going to use the whole thing. You're just going to rip off a few. You got to think like a survivalist. And most times, for a lot of you cats out there that were in the military, did like SEER school and stuff, you know that freaking in certain survival situations, fire can be your enemy, and it can bring on a lot of attention that you don't need. So you got to be careful with that, and also smoke and yada yada yada. But anyway, I digress. And see, just like that, I had to fast forward for you. I get to talking, I go, he's talking too much. Shut him up. All right. Like that. Ta-da. Now, let's sort of do that. Let's just lay that flat. Let me see if I can get another one of these in there. No, I forgot. Let's go ahead and cut. Let's just go ahead and cut off a little sleeve here. And then we'll put it in there. And maybe someone will think that's cool. Maybe not. Let's go ahead and cut those. Let's go ahead and put those there and there. So I've already got some going in case I'm cold and wet and nasty and I need to get this done quick. You want to have it all put together for you. I might not have scissors with me when I get in trouble, right? Always keep that in mind when you're putting these kits together. You might not have that stuff with you. Now, something you're going to want to do, get yourself a sharp. Let's see if I got a sharp laying around here. Real simple and easy. Just write fire, put a flame on it or something, set it to the side, and then figure out what you're going to work on next. And you could do so many different things. A real easy one to do would be like your sewing kit. You could do just one of these guys real quick, bust it out, freaking do your sewing kit. But you got to be careful with this because you might end up getting the needle. You got to make sure you just kind of bend the needle around like this. Bring that needle out, throw it in there so you don't want to break the needle trying to fold it or something. Bring your buttons. Where they go? These are like a penny at the freaking dollar store. They come in, well, you got to buy them in bulk, but oh well. There's your sewing kit, just like that, and bam, and you got yourself a sewing kit. Now you could get cray and do freaking Kevlar. That's the kind of stuff you do for fly fishing. That's Kevlar line, really hard to break, and you could replace all that with Kevlar line. It's totally up to you. I mean, you can also use it for stitching yourself up probably, but I would use a professional kit for that. But anyway, but that would be that one, and then you would write sewing kit. The next kit you could do would be real easy. You could do, this is your water purification. You just make one for water. Pop top, once again. Well, did I grab the wrong one? Oh yeah, this is the other one. Oh yeah, I already made that one. Here, let me show you this one real quick. I'm going to get distracted and then, but that's part of your first aid. That would be bandages. That's all bandages. I did a wad of bandages up in there. Bandages. I've got bandages. See, I brought some bandages up here thinking I didn't have any bandages done yet, but I should go ahead and put bandages on this one. There we go. Fixed it. Wrote bandages on it. Now, like I said before, I was getting distracted. I've got more. I've got way more. All right, pop this guy open. Do some. You got some aqua tabs, right? That's all you need. That comes from one of these. I buy these things in bulk. Tons of these things, and you can get them in big containers, kind of like this thing here, of nothing but aqua tabs. Aqua tabs. Coffee filters comes in handy when you're trying to make a. You can do a water filtration device. I've shown that before too in a video. If you want to go back a few videos to watch that, but that was a couple of years ago, I think. But anyway, you can take a water bottle and freaking chop it, and you do your sandstone and all that stuff. All the details of doing it. It actually tastes pretty good. You want to do the aqua tabs too, because it helps with the germs in that. You don't want to get sick. Anyways, fold yourself up. See, that works perfect. Let's go ahead and do a couple of these. This 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that gives me 3 coffee filters. Always do coffee filters. They're the bomb diggity. And they're cheap. It's like $1 or something. You can get like tons of these things. Get that folded. Boom, boom. Give it a fold. Then, boom. Take these guys here. That's got 4 in there. It's plenty. Give it a twist. And saw that it held 3 coffee filters for. You might have to use one of the coffee filters twice, but oh well. It's the best I can do. It just doesn't have enough room to hold. But I just thought it's kind of neat. And you can mark it up as a water kit. Now you could do plastic bags and stuff and all that weird stuff you want, but you could do you could probably put the plastic bag inside here somewhere. If you go with a bigger container, if you went with Ninja Turtles, you would have enough room to put your plastic bags in. Anyway, one more kit that I'm going to recommend is you can do a hunting and fishing kit. I would recommend that's the sewing kit. I already did that sewing kit. See what I mean? I told you I already put together a couple of these, but I was wanting to show you guys and then I stopped. So I just throw that to the side. All right, out of the way. All right, back to this. Just to get you one of these cheap razors. Let's go ahead and get yourself something to cut with. Hopefully that does fit correctly like I thought. Yep, fits in there perfect. Now I've got a razor blade. So you get your razor blade. Get you some of these. These are good for military traps. But what you're going to do, you're going to take some of this stuff and you're going to use it for making your snare wire. So you're just going to go ahead and take that stuff apart. Get this undone. You'll get these in spools online. This goes for tripwires, but I'm going to use you use this for snares. Now it's not too thin that they can't chew their way out of it. You want to catch. Now how snares work, you want to have them in a classic snares. It's thicker than this. I've got tons of them all over the place. Let me just grab one to show you what a little tiny snare looks like, so I don't get yelled at later for not showing. Here's a small snare, and these snares, what you do is you set them up in the path of your critter. Say a rabbit runs the same path every freaking day. You'll see these little trails going between. I use snares. They work great. You just got to find where they're trekking. And you got all kinds of rabbits and critters and stuff out there. You find that trail where they're trekking, and you'll see like where they keep running that same trail. Put your snare up just outside that and attach it to something, right? Kind of like this. Put yourself a nice little, like a noose setup, right? You bring this around and twist it, and then that way it slips up and down on there just like that. Now, when they come running through here, unsuspectingly, they won't even pay any attention to it. It's amazing how it works. They don't even pay any attention to it. They'll run right into that thing. Let me just go ahead and bend that. They'll run right into that thing and freaking get caught in it. And then they'll stay there, and they'll still be alive when you find them. They won't choke themselves out. They'll just be stuck on it. So you just want to make sure you check your traps often. But you could have yourself some dinner pretty quick. Now, undo this guy here. Get that off there. Now, I want to have enough to be able to do some snares. So you want to do more than one snare. You got to do quite a few. But you're going to pull yourself off quite a bit of this stuff. And like I said, I'm making a hunting and fishing kit, and this will work great. I should be able to cut this with this, or I can just break that off. There we go. Now, take this guy here, and let's just go ahead and you want to find something to wrap it with. There you go. Like this guy here. That way you can get it tight. Just like that. And you got this. Pinch tight and then twist this around here. Take this. Now most people use less strength stuff than this. Now this is some heavy duty stuff. This is actually used for tripping, so that should be big enough to get in there. You just gotta, hopefully I get that right. Sometimes I get my sizes wrong, but usually I can see something and tell you, yeah, it's about how big you want it, and you might not have to rewrap it. And then if you do, just give it a twist, and that make up that extra room right there. See, good figure eight, did the trick. All right. Next thing you're going to want to do, I've got some other stuff here. I want to do, just for light purposes, I forgot to share that. I want to put this in here. I didn't do it a while ago, but this is just a miniature glow stick. These things have come a long way over the years. Miniature glow stick, just as a reminder, I'm putting that in there. Compass, I'm putting that in there. I don't want that to be a part of my other kits. I want that in there. So in case you missed it, that's what I'm doing. And then I've got something else I got to do. All right. Fishing kit wise, you could do something like this and roll it up in a bag. I've done this quite a few times. Or you could take something like this and then break it down into a kit like this. You just need to get some, you're going to need something just for basic fishing. You don't need to get too crazy with it. So you would turn to, like, this is one of my miniature fishing kits. Pop this guy open and just grab a few hooks that you might need. You're not going to need anything too bulky. 1, 2. Just do 2. Sometimes people want more and whatever, but you could always just grab some bigger ones. Go over here, grab a couple more. There you go. And then go over here and get yourself some little weights. Grab a couple of those. Grab one more. Just, grab another one because I threw an extra hook in there. Oh, I lost one. Yeah. That's the other thing. You don't want your kit to be too small because then you're going to lose stuff on the ground. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, I lost all of it. All right, there's that. I'm not doing any. You can make a lot of stuff by hand in the woods. You don't have to really pack too much of that crazy stuff. But it's good to have your basic stuff there. Because you could do some type of kits. Like I've done the hobo kit before. I know a lot of people. If I can get this off of here. My hobo kit before. You can look at something like this. This is the hobo reel. K-Bar makes this. And inside here is a full kit. You just pull it like this. Be careful opening these things. It might go everywhere. Fishing kit galore in there. But that is my hobo kit. Get a twist and it locks it back up. But anyways, it's got a full fishing kit inside there. And then I've got all my tools. A place to keep everything alive. Of course, you got a little pretend. You got to put that on there somewhere. With multi-tool and all that stuff. You could carry stuff like that in your kit. You don't have to do what I'm doing here. If you need to carry more, but chances you might not be fishing. You know, you might not be fishing. You might be doing snares, or you might just be eating wild edibles. And you got to know your wild edibles, or you won't be making that happen. But that's one thing that you would do. You could utilize space at this time. You could just go ahead and put your compass in there. Since you do have you got your fishing kit in there. You want to keep this stuff protected, so I was just kind of going to wait and see how far I got with that. Now I can go ahead and just put that in there, and it can be part of my tools kit, so I don't lose any of this stuff. But anyways, then you would write, fishing and hunting on that. Now this will be the last one I'm going to do here, and I'm just doing it just for poops and giggles, and until you giggle and poop. Just don't giggle and poop. All right. This is moleskin. You might end up getting something that is in desperate need of, like you could get a mole in your foot, or something jacked up on your foot, a burr on your foot or something. So it's good to pack some of this. Caffeine to keep you awake and alive. You might need that. You could do so many different things here. I just want to point out before I go any further, because you could end up adding a whole nother kit just out of one of those. These are old MRE. Well, it's not old, but it's just a bag of MRE stuff. And if you ever pay attention to this stuff, you've got things that are quite similar. Sugar, food related stuff. You could do sugar. You could do salt. You got iodized salt in here. You want to have your iodized salt. It's in here somewhere, but there it is. Iodized salt. There you go. Might need that too. You could do gum. There's a possibility you could need that. But a lot of this stuff in here is very useful. So you would make a separate kit. Some instant coffee. You know what I mean? You could do coffee instead. But see how much room that takes? That's going to take up more room. And you've got a lot of that stuff like your Tapatio. And, of course, there's your peanut butter and stuff. I've got a lot of random stuff in here. Toilet paper, your TP. You're going to be using leaves. There's another taster's choice right there. But anyways, I just wanted to share that little bit. I might add those two. I'm not sure yet. But caffeine pill does the trick way faster. You could just cut this down so you've got a little bit more room. You don't need 2 of these, right? You might not need 2 of these. You might want your meds more importantly than just having a bunch of caffeine in there. So that might be required to keep you up one night where you need to stay awake. You can do stuff for pain related. You got your alcohol pads, your bite relief, your ibuprofen, and you might need that. I don't think you need that, but you got your aspirin, and you've got your ointment. Now you'd want to go with, well, what's more important at this point? I would add the ointment first. So you might want some kind of antibiotic ointment. I would do that first before I start putting all the other stuff in there. Just go ahead and get that in there first. I'm going to bold that so it fits. And one thing I was going to share, if you wanted to, you could do some lip balm. And I just got this. I just got this out, and all you had to do, it already seals up. You could just splatter it inside there, somewhere at the bottom, if you wanted to. I just wanted to share that. That's not something I'm going to do. I mean, you could put it anywhere in here. You know what I mean? And it would be in there. You just want to make a big mess of it. But there's that. There's your ointment. Let's go ahead and do some aspirin. Now, aspirin will expire. It can kill you. If it expires, it reaches its expiration date, it could be bad, more harm for you than good. So you got to make sure you remember that. Let's go ahead and shove that in there. Fold. It might have some air in it. That's the other thing. You're going to have to let some air out. It's going to be sealed in this anyways, so you're not going to need a whole lot of. You can use the packaging later for fire starting. I know it's sealed tight, but you're going to have to open some of these things up. Aspirin, ibuprofen. That's the other thing I would do. I'm only doing this because it's already sealed in a container. Boom, boom. There's your ibuprofen. So now you've got your ibuprofen. You've got room for your caffeine. Now you think I need some salt? Probably should do some salt. There's that. Just in case. So I don't think I can fit salt and sugar in here, but I'm going to try. I thought that would make more sense than a lot of this other stuff. A little bit of sugar. I don't think the sugar's going to fit, but it sure would be nice to have a piece of candy. It's not going to work. Well, looks like we're going to have to I'm just going to go with the salt. A little bit of salt help keep me hydrated a little bit, I guess. I'm chugging down some water when I'm done taking all my caffeine. All right, that doesn't have to make any sense. I don't have the Sippy's the nurse. I don't have her here to help with this project at the moment. It would be more beneficial to have her advice into, hey, I'd pack this, but then she would probably end up packing the whole thing or something and throw me way off. All right, but that would be your meds. So you just write that as like meds. Just put meds on there. Meds, so you know what that is. And see, now you got your stuff all put together here. Slap this here. Put all your little kits in there. Look at that, sewing kit, fishing, hunting, all that stuff. It's really cool, little organized kit. Go ahead and throw that in there like that. Well, you know, I'm gonna throw it on top. Just like that. Go ahead and close that up. Now, these are cut from a tire. You can use a bike inner tube. I just cut these down from a bike inner tube to make them like rubber bands. You got to use the bigger inner tubes for that if you want to get something that fancy. But you don't have to buy, you know, chances of finding black rubber bands is hard. So it's just best to just try and make them. Anyways, and just like that. Now, you've got a kit put together just like that. That's all there is to it. And you can put that in a little bag somewhere, stashed in a glove box or something. Hey, I remember this thing. And this might be just a thin line between you and death. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you don't have to do the individual kits. I just thought that'd be very cool that you can do 6 kits. Now you can also put together all kinds of little things out of these little boxes. And it doesn't have to be what I did here today. I just wanted to give you an example, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please share with your friends. Like, share, subscribe. God bless you guys. Rainbows and unicorns. Take care.